Welcome to Heartbeat of Holliston, the show where we meet the people, the events, and the organizations that make Holliston a great town. Today we're welcoming the Mount Hollis Lodge, and here's Tim Maxwell to talk to us. Welcome, Tim.
Nice to be here. Thank you for inviting us.
Great. Let's pretend that I just moved to town. What would you like me to know about the Mount Hollis Lodge?
Oh, thank you for asking. So Mount Hollis Lodge is a Freemasons lodge associated here with the Grand Lodge in Massachusetts. And we're based here in Holliston. So we don't just invite men from Holliston, but men from the inviting community to be part of our fraternity, where we try to make good men better. And we do a number of acts to help each other become better men.
Mm-hmm. Well, for example, give me an example of what happens.
Sure. So when somebody first joins, we put them through these very traditional degrees that we've been doing for over 300 years.
Yeah, it's really old, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, like I think maybe one of the presidents was a Mason. Many of the presidents
Yes.
were Masons, right? Like George Washington and Jefferson, is that correct?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
A number of the founding fathers were Masons, including Ben Franklin and Washington. A number of the astronauts have been. A number of current celebrities are as well. It's really fun to know that when you're going through this, there's history behind it, so that what you're experiencing, for 300 years, men have been experiencing.
Uh-huh. So you're going through the degrees of whatever, and how do you make them, what are the examples of how you get better?
Oh, sure. So we talk and teach tenets and virtues, and then we give allegory and symbols to these tenets and virtues, so that as you're going through different situations in your life, working with your spouse, working with your coworkers at work, these kind of pop into your head in this kind of weird way that stories do pop into you and your mind, and you get to apply those tenets and virtues.
Wow, that's really interesting. You're really learning how to be a better person. You are learning to be a better person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So like one of the examples that there's not too many secrets in Freemasonry, contrary to public belief.
See, okay. I thought it was really. All right, tell me some. Tell me.
So
right.
Some of the symbols and virtues that we talk about are right on every Masonic emblem that you see, the square and compasses. And the compasses teach us to kind of keep your passions within due bounds. So either you're really excited about it, or think about the other types of passions you have. And at work or with your family, with your friends, that comes into play a lot.
Yes, it does. Okay. So that's okay. So other than what else can you tell me? I just moved to Holliston. Or why should I join? Why did you join the lodge?
Oh, sure. I think the two big reasons that I joined the lodge were A, to meet and expand, my group of people that I know.
Oh.
Friendship and fellowship, right? And then the other part was to find ways to give back to the community. And we do it in a little bit of an indirect way. We'll go off, and the first Sunday of every month we have a breakfast. And we use the funds from that breakfast to help fund our own charitable efforts, where we have one scholarship in the past that we give through the high school, and this year we're expanding it to 2.
Great.
Thanks to everybody here in town. We also tend to make donations to several other efforts in our community, like the food pantry, and when sudden emergencies come up, we also use those funds to donate for those.
Okay. Do you, in your events, I know that you seem to have a lot of food events. You've got the hoagie sale, the fish fry, and now you're telling me about the breakfast. What happens at the fish fry? I'm fascinated by that one.
So it's kind of fun. We were given 2 wonderful fryolators, and we put those outside, and we start dropping fish and French fries or chicken fingers, because not everybody likes fried fish.
Yeah.
When people will come in, they'll charge $15, and we plate it up. Well, either you can eat there at the lodge, or
Oh.
you can take it to go.
Oh, cool.
So we do those on Fridays through the holiday season.
Through Lent.
Yes.
Yes, yeah. Well, of course, that's a very big tradition, is that everyone eats fish on Fridays.
Yep.
Even growing up in Pennsylvania, I had to eat fish on Fridays. I would, so that's a really good idea. But you guys are quite the chefs then, aren't you? How does that work out? Do you guys all cook?
No. We just like working together, and every lodge is a little different. If you're into a lot of the history and the historical elements of Freemasonry, particularly here in Massachusetts, there's some lodges that really get into that aspect of it. For us at Mount Hollis, we tend to cook. So you mentioned the breakfast, the fish fries, the hoagie sale. We also will take those friolators on the road, and like at Celebrate Holliston, we've been selling some fried Oreos.
Yeah.
Not necessarily good for the heart, but very tasty.
Fantastic.
And we'll even be going up to the Marlboro Car Show to do the same.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So not
Great.
everybody cooks, but we all work together
Yeah.
to kind of do it. And we have a lot of fun in the process.
Wow. And so then you use the funds to give back to the community, as you
Yes.
said.
Yep. So this year we've been able to raise about a little over $4,000. So a lot of that's going into our scholarships, the 2 scholarships that we do.
Super. Yep.
We'll also be making a donation to the food pantry, and then we take that last and we give it to a person or family in need here in the community.
That's wonderful. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So you joined the lodge for the friendship and and did your reasons, have they worked out for you? Are you happy with what you found at the lodge?
Oh, absolutely.
How did you find out about it?
Well, that's an interesting question. I first learned about Freemasonry when I was like 13 as a Boy Scout, because an
Yeah.
assistant scoutmaster was a Freemason, and he would walk around with his little Freemason ring on. And of course, as a 13-year-old, you're like, what is that? And
Yeah.
they were always happy to tell you. So as I got older, my kids got older, and they aged out of Scouts, I started looking for something else. I was at Celebrate Holliston walking around with my wife and one of my kids, and there was a stand from Mount Hollis, and I was like, oh, what are you?
So you remembered all the way back from when you were a kid, and then you found the
Yeah.
connection here at Celebrate Holliston,
Yep.
and you joined, and that's how you heard about it. Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
It is. Boy, never discount what you learn as a Boy Scout, right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So is there anything else you'd like to let the people know about you guys?
Oh, well, we don't do an active membership campaign. We have this very strict policy that we don't advertise for recruitment. We wait for people to come and say, hey, I'm interested in being a Freemason. So from there, it's a pretty smooth process, but you'll never see us out saying, hey, it's time to come join the lodge.
I see.
And that tends to lead to a little bit of confusion about, how do I join? Well, I've never been asked. Well, we don't go and ask because we don't want to go and put people in awkward situations.
Well, it sounds like it's an ideal situation for many men because it's laid back but yet virtual.
Yes.
Virtuous, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Excellent, excellent. Well, great. Well, thank you so much, Tim. This has been informative and interesting, and I can't wait to see what your next event will be. Do you have anything planned between now and Celebrate Holliston, or?
Oh, well, at this time of year, we tend to wrap up by doing a lot of things just for our members. So we have a barbecue coming up. We'll do a couple little dinners for the families.
Yep.
And then to wrap up the year, we tend to have, again, it's very food oriented, but a big dinner for all the members to kind of be excited for the end of the year and celebrate
Yeah.
what we've done and celebrate our new members that have joined us.
Right, right. So it's a lot of fellowship.
It is.
That's wonderful, wonderful. Great. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
For Heartbeat of Holliston, I'm Chryso Lawless.